I usually do a countdown. So 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 19. Oh wait, 20. Let me start over. 30.
199.
You're letting me wait. You're letting me go way too far. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to This Life, a podcast by Mayorca Media. I'm your host, Felix Mayorca, and as always, we're here at the Local Hub Studios in Escondido, California. Quick message from Local Hub: right now, if you buy 2 months, you get 1 free. For you remote workers that might be sick of working at home, come through, check it out. If you like it, you can work here and you can ask your company if they would prorate it or pay for you. I think that's the same word. Anyway, before I introduce my lovely guest, I want to make the announcement that This Life will only be uploaded once a week on Tuesdays. I really want to do it twice a week, and I told myself I was going to do it twice a week, but honestly, it's super exhausting. I'm trying to kind of balance everything out, my work. I'm getting a little bit busier, and I think for 2 weeks, my mental health, which is funny because that's what this is about. My mental health was just kind of steadily declining, and I was like, what's going on? And I put way too much on my plate, which I tend to do. But if all of you keep supporting like you have been, maybe this is what I end up doing for the rest of my life. So follow your dreams. Today I'm sitting with
Hello.
I didn't introduce you yet. Put this part.
Go ahead.
Yeah, there you go. Today I'm sitting with Andie Sanchez. Do you want to be called Andie or Andrea?
Whatever you want.
Andrea Andie Sanchez.
There you go. That's me.
What's up?
Hey, happy to be here.
Good. You're about to say good.
I know.
Hey, good. So nervous. So nervous.
Oh my gosh. Give me more alcohol, please.
Yeah, Andie, I've known you since high school. You were...
I was a sophomore.
Yeah. Now you're a senior.
Yeah, I'm a senior graduating class of 20. Yeah, no, I have graduated college now. I'm grown up.
That makes me look like such a creep. I'm like, yeah, you're still in high school.
Yeah, we have this very underage girl here today.
We don't condone that here at This Life. How are you?
I'm good. Real tired. Thursday, making it through the week, but I'm excited to be here.
I just had a conversation with Don outside, who is a remote worker here, and he literally said the same thing. Making it through the week.
I know. Once it gets closer to Friday, you're like, okay, we're almost there, and that's every single week.
I love office small talk where you're just like, hey, how you doing? Oh, what's going on? Yeah, just getting by. That's all we can do.
And that's all you say to each other. And then tomorrow, same thing.
Yeah. Hey, still making it through? Yeah. Hardly working or whatever. Working hard, hardly working. And you're like, yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah.
And then on Fridays, it's Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. I know. Oh my God, dude. I love surface level talk.
Makes one of us.
I love small talk, dude. I'm like, yeah, give me all the small talk.
No, I'm good.
So before this, actually, I'm going to turn my chair because I tend to look fat on the outside of the lens.
So we both facing more this way?
Yeah, face more that way. You got to get rid of the lonjas.
The angles?
Yeah, the angles. Oh, heck. Okay, so before this...
We good?
We're good. Before this, we were talking about... because when guests come in here, I don't just let them sit quietly.
Okay.
I have conversations with them. Mm-hmm. So before this, we were talking about what? About pretty much post-college
life, post-grad life, working. So transitioning from full-time college student to being a full-time worker now.
That's what you're doing.
Absolutely. A little bit too much full-time, We're doing 50-hour work weeks, pushing 60 when it's really busy. So that's a hard transition that nobody really tells you about.
Yeah, snore.
I know. Just been working.
Yeah. That's another thing we're talking about, where that's kind of like you're at Target and you run into your high school acquaintance. Yeah. It's not even like, yo, what's up, dog? It's like, hey. And they're like, oh, what's up? What have you been up to? oh, just working, and oh, cool.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
See you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right.
At that point, don't even stop me to talk to me. Just
yeah. Wave.
I saw you. You saw me. Let's just keep it moving.
Exactly. Just wave. So, where did you go to college?
So I went to school in Riverside. I went to UCR. I graduated in 2019. Luckily, I didn't have an online graduation. COVID wasn't a thing yet. I know. So I started working with kids right out of college because it was a smooth transition from what I was studying.
What'd you study?
I am a poli-sci major as well as an education major.
Oh, wow.
And I minored
Teachers.
as well. I know. Didn't end up going to grad school for that.
What'd you minor in?
Behavioral studies.
Oh, so pretty much all kids, all teacher stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to end up being a teacher. I graduated college, and then grad school gets really expensive. So I was like, you know what? Let's pause. Let's just try to get, And then once you put on hold, you keep putting it on hold, and you keep putting it on hold, and here I am a year later.
You're telling me.
Yeah.
So I found some resemblances with kind of not what you're going through, but just the life you're living right now. This life that you're living right now. That's the name of the podcast.
Well, I know. I know. We all know. We're all here.
Just getting through the week. I told you, my mental health is just steadily declining. I'm getting there. So you and I kind of have similar stories of. I went to school to be a teacher, and I'm not going to go through all this because it was on the first episode. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it now. It's very short. I went to school to be a teacher. I said, you know what? I'm going to put teaching on hold. I'm going to save up some money. And that's what I'm still doing. After a while, I was just kind of like, I don't really want to teach. But that's when everything just kind of, the shit hit the fan. What's going through your mind right now? Let's go back a little bit. Okay. What are you doing instead of going to grad school?
So, like I said, I am working full-time. I work for Enterprise, so that keeps me really busy. I've been doing that for like a year now, and I'm like, okay, I've done 1 full year. It's time to make some moves. So I'm ready to move on to something else, but it's just so tough right now, especially with like COVID. The job market is flooded, and so I'm just sitting here like, okay, I want to leave, but I can't just quit right now because I have nothing secured yet.
Yeah.
And I just feel stuck, you know?
Yeah. And you've got to secure the bag, as they say.
Secure the bag. I have bills.
You got bills. What's it like working at Enterprise?
You know what?
Without outing anyone.
Well, I mean, it's just a lot just because it's so demanding with the work schedule. I know it's not for me, and I found that out way before I hit my year mark. But like I said, I've just been stuck there, and it's not where I want to be. So I'm just kind of looking for something else, which is hard when you don't really know what you want to do.
Yeah. Especially
like we said, grad school is there, but it's also really expensive. So you're saving money, but you're like, I don't really know if I want to get into that as well. So
do you consider yourself just kind of floating around? Floating
around, just your typical 23-year-old kind of trying to figure it out.
What is your daily
what's
your daily routine like?
My work schedule. Okay. So I clock in at 6:30 in the morning. So I'm waking up like 5:45, getting to work on time. I am currently clocking out at 5:30, which is new. I was working 7 to 7 before this month. That's Monday through Friday, and then I do work a weekend usually. So I have 1 day off. And as you can imagine, my mental health, not in the best condition, okay?
Oh,
not the best. We're not thriving.
Let me ask you this, since you brought up the mental health aspect of it. What are you doing to, center yourself daily and not just drag on through the day?
Right.
Do you do something?
I do. So once I have clocked out, I make sure I have enough time or allot myself time to go to the gym. That's really all I have time for. But that's one thing that's definitely helping me with my mental health. It's not even so like, to look a certain way or for a certain physique. It's like, I like being there. It's where I'm not at work. I'm not talking to people. I'm in my own zone. That's me time. But that's about it. That's all I have time for.
Yeah, you also before this were like, well, I'm actually bulking and I gotta watch my
Yeah,
macros.
well,
So,
because
for
now I
sure.
have a trainer and
Oh, she got that enterprise money. She got that full-time
I
money.
know. But I
Shit.
just spend it on that. That's about it. I don't have time to go anywhere else. I have no PTO.
Damn. Do you... I'm going to ask a question.
Go ahead.
It's going to sound shitty,
Okay.
but I'm cussing way too much on this one. Do you have, like, close friends?
Okay. See, this is an answer. Okay, here we go. I have close friends that don't live near me.
That's tough.
That is very tough. Okay.
College friends.
Yes. They're not too far, but they're also not where I can see them every day or every weekend, and then everybody has their own schedule. So after college, it was really hard to move home where you only have like two close friends, you know, when they're busy doing their own thing as well. So being with my close friends is something that I get to do maybe like once every 2 months, you know, once everybody's on the same schedule. So it's not the easiest, you know.
Yeah.
It's really easy to feel alone.
What's the one question you get that you absolutely hate hearing as a post-grad?
Oh my gosh. The one, I have to pick one.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The most popular is like, oh, so what are you doing now?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are you going to stay there?
From
is,
who?
is that what you want to do? Anybody.
Yeah.
Literally anybody. My mom, my family, extended family, strangers, you know? And that's the worst because you know they're extra judgmental when they shouldn't be.
Uh-huh.
And it's just like, you don't care. I don't care.
Yeah. That's the same thing, that surface small talk bullshit where they're just kind of like, oh, are you in school right now? No, I'm not in school. I graduated. Oh, what did you study? Oh, pretty much like what?
What are you going to do with that?
Yeah, exactly.
If I knew.
Yep. Oh, history major.
Yeah.
You're going to be a lawyer?
Yeah.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, teacher? Well, there's not much else you can do. Oh, that makes me feel...
Just keep it to yourself. Just go ahead.
If you have nothing cool to say, don't say anything at all. Damn. Did you expect post-grad life to be like this?
No, honestly, you know what? Post-grad, when you're in college, seems so far away, you know? So it's just kind of like a cloud. Like you're just like I'll get there when I get there. I had plans, like I said, but I didn't really see it happening so soon. You know, college goes by so fast. And then when it happens, I wasn't really sure if this is normal or is this what it's like for everybody?
It's normal.
It's normal. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what everybody who's going through this says. And everybody who's doing fine is like, no, this is normal.
Yeah. Well, another thing that actually I want to bring up is before we started recording, we're actually having this conversation, and what was the conversation you had with your last person?
Okay. So
that's your other friend, right?
Yes. Okay. She's one of my friends. So I'm laying there getting lost, you know. We started talking about being tired from work, and I said, oh, you know, like I'm just so tired this week, blah, blah, blah. And she says, I'm really tired too. Like I had 4 clients today. I was super busy. I keep getting booked. I'm just really tired. And it's just like, okay, that's a totally different type of tired. And I'm so jealous because she is tired of working for herself. Like a work day where it's your business, you run it how you want, you're investing in yourself, where I'm working a job that I don't like. Hours that I don't like either. I don't like the job itself, my workload, just anything about it. And she's investing in herself. And I'm so jealous.
As a person who invests in themselves, I don't know if you know this, but I'm my own boss.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, it is actually the same kind of tired, because while you are drained from now, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, like my life is hard or her life is hard.
Right.
Like everyone has their own struggles and all that. And I'm not sitting here shitting on you. Like that's a totally valid thing to have, because when I was working for the city and the supervisors would be like, oh man, I'm tired. I'd be like, tired from what? Telling everyone else what to do?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I still say that. So
like, oh, your job is so hard.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to out them right now. I feel
Names,
like
please.
Yeah. One day I'm just going to like maybe have one too many June shines and be like, you know what?
Just start ripping them all.
Yeah, hell yeah. For example, my day starts at 9 a.m. It starts at 9 a.m. Actually, it starts at 5:30.
Okay.
I work out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Strong. And
Gains.
Gains life, #gains. And after that, I come straight to the office. Now my days are usually, I sit down, I answer some emails, I'll edit, and then I'll have some sort of shoot, maybe 3 shoots, or maybe no shoots. but I end up leaving here at like 7
Okay.
or like 8. I'm exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm doing what I love, but there's always that little bit there. People don't really, and I know they don't understand it because it's not a common job. Like when you like work for yourself, like you just kind of think like, oh, well, you're just not even you're chilling, but like you get to edit videos all day. And
Right.
It's like, yeah, man, I get to edit videos every single day.
That's my job.
Exactly. And then I get a call from a client. Hey, do you have this yet? I don't. Yeah. And then someone's like, hey, can you shoot today at 3? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go. And then that stops, and then I have to read it. And then it gets kind of hectic. But I think, I don't know what my point was. Yeah, I think in your situation, it is hard and it's more draining because you have that, where is this leading?
Right.
You're kind of the way I describe it is you're running on a treadmill. You're spinning your wheels. And that gets even more exhausting. So everyone, like I've heard the quote, a bad day at your dream job is like better than, no, what is it?
Or is it the worst day at your dream job is better than your
best day at a job that you hate or something like that.
Yeah.
People at home are just like, no, it's in their car. Damn it.
I have something to say.
Yeah. Come on the podcast. That's not true. I mean,
what do you mean it's not true?
Because some days are just so draining. Some days you're dealing with something maybe at home and you don't want to be working at all.
Okay.
And I can take days off, but it's like, then I'm pushing all of that. Like right now I have 2 engagements to edit. I have a wedding to edit. I have some marketing stuff that I've been putting off. I can't really invest in my own business because I'm investing in everyone else's business because I'm trying to grow. And then I'm having new accounts opening up. So I'm like, it's constantly like a juggling thing because I'm still fairly new. I'm still at the starts of my business. I mean, that being said, I think the difference is the mindset. And it's not that I'm saying like you have a bad mindset, but it's hard. It's definitely hard because, and I, again, listen to the first episode, I absolutely feel 100% and like it breaks my heart that you're going through this and other people have gone through it and are going through it. But it's one of those things where it's like, you kind of have to make a decision of like, all right, should I look for another just like menial job that doesn't really matter to me? Should I start working at some coffee shop? Or should I start trying to like follow my dreams or find out what my dreams are? Like, like what are your pretty much, do you have like maybe like monthly goals, weekly goals kind of thing? Yeah,
I definitely do. I have my own, but just to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to have this be confused on what I was kind of saying or arguing. I'm not jealous of like or saying that you have a like less of a workload than somebody who has a regular like 9 to 5. No,
no,
okay, like a regular job. Yeah. I'm more so saying that you get to do something that you love, and so you're at the end of the day, like you're still doing what you want to do instead of like working a job that's just like getting your bills. You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like, wow, I wish I could be doing that for myself.
Yeah.
But I'm just in the spot where, okay, I don't know what I want to do, and I can't do that right now. So that's why I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Do you ever get that like kind of resentment when people are like, man, I'm like, if we hung out and I'd be like, man, I'm exhausted. I was at the office all day, and you're kind of like, you're exhausted?
Excuse me, Felix, what? What do you mean you're exhausted? I'm exhausted. Yeah, I always try to like one up people. Like, listen, you have it so good. Do you want to hear about my day?
Yeah. Well, listen, I think that actually brings up a point that I always bring up here is that language is very important. When I talk to my friends, they're like, how is business? And I'm like, man, it is productive. It's busy. I'm like, I'm a little exhausted, but I mean, I get to do what I love. And I always finish it with that because I am super lucky. Yeah. I can sit here during the day. Like the other day, I think I went to Target to like run errands, and I was freaking out because I was like, oh shit, I should get back now. And then I was like, oh, I should get back now. And then I was like, oh, I'm gonna stop by TJ Maxx because I had to get a present, like a present for someone. And I was like, oh, should I probably should. And then I was like, wait, what are you doing, dude? No one's at the office like hey,
clock in, clock out, watching your time sheet.
Like, dude, my life rips, dude. My life's so
I know, like
sick.
I have it kind of good, right?
Yeah, exactly. But you're predisposed to that like notion of like work.
Right.
Why do you work 50 hours a week?
That's just full time. What is it? There's nothing less than 50 times a week. So you get hired on full time Full-time there means 50 hours a week. It doesn't mean 40. There's no way around it. That's just your work week.
I think there should be an investigation.
Is that allowed?
Is that allowed?
This is California. There's some labor laws here that I don't know.
Is this allowed?
Is this allowed? Privately owned, so who knows?
Dude, I think there should be an investigation there. I think I saw a couple kids working there too. I don't know.
I don't know. A little bit underage.
Yeah, dude, just a 7-year-old driving a car into the.
To go back, I mean, it's still like you were saying about perspective. I can't, like I might talk about it in such a negative way and everything, but I still am grateful that I do have a full-time job where there is a lot of opportunity there. And like, I just started there. If you really wanted to stay there and make something out of it, you can. And I got to keep my job during COVID. I know that was something I was really blessed with. I know a lot of people were not. Yeah. So I can't talk about it in such a negative way. I am fortunate enough to have that job, and like I work a lot there and everything, but
you care.
Yeah.
Not only do you care about like yourself, you care about your future. And what's crazy is sometimes we get caught up in that. Like again, when I was working part-time jobs for the city, you have a way better attitude than I did, because I had almost an attitude of the work. Is that your phone?
I don't know. Who would be calling me? Is that not your phone?
It's not my phone.
Honestly, I applied for a job. What if this is them calling?
Oh, dude. Yeah. Get it.
Hold on. Well, I missed it now.
Well, who was it?
It was a missed call, but it looks like a spam risk. No, too many 760 numbers have been calling me.
Yeah, same. Yeah. It's like, we have been trying to reach you.
This is a healthcare problem.
Yeah. You're like, what? Shit, what was I saying?
That I have a better perspective than you.
You have a better perspective than I do, because I went out of college thinking that, and I actually read a book that talked about this, that the world owed me something because I went to college, because I did what society and what the world told me. And I didn't even think about that or realize that until I think like last week or 2 weeks ago, where millennials, because I'm right at the cutoff or whatever, but I mean, it's said, I hate when people are like, you're a millennial.
Oh, no.
I mean, we were kind of lied to. We were told, hey, go to college, make something of yourself. And I think I held that resentment towards life in general. I was just like, this is bullshit, man.
You're like, I set myself up and now there's nothing there for me to get back.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean but then again, like that
mindset itself is kind of,
but that mixed with politics and city government, I was just like, I was fed up with being lied to. And then I was fed up with having people tell me, hey, tell them so-and-so because the person on that panel is, I was just like, well, why can't I just show up and say, hi, I'm Felix, and these are the skills I've done, these are the skills I bring, and these are the skills that I want to learn, and then get hired.
Because you're qualified, right?
Exactly.
Because you set yourself up for it. You invest in yourself, you went to college, all this stuff. No, that in politics, it's a mess.
Have you had any interviews since?
I actually so here's what happened. I was applying. Here we go. Okay, so I had interview. So I applied for these 2 jobs right at the same time. One job has a longer hiring process. So you submit your application and your resume. They contact you and they send you over like a personality assessment test and like a simulation, so it's like the second part of the hiring process. Cool. I did that. I submitted it and I was waiting to hear back from them. Okay. So while that was going on, the other job I applied to was like, hey, you're super qualified. We'd love to have you on. Just one more phone interview, but you're in, you start Tuesday. That was Friday. And I was like, okay, I'm waiting on this other job that pays more, but I don't know if I'm going to get it. Yeah. This job is guaranteed that I'm hired, but I start Tuesday. I haven't even given my 2-week notice at my current job. So I had to turn that one down. Ooh. So the one that I got, I turned down. The one that I was waiting on turned me down. So here I am. I know. Oh. So frustrating.
Those are the worst.
I know.
And you're not the only person that's gone through that. Because you almost don't want to, what do they call it? Put your chips in one.
All in one, Yeah. And now I'm like, maybe I should have taken that one.
Would you have wanted to work there?
Yeah.
Or was it?
I know.
You blew it.
I know. But at the same time, it's like, okay, you know what? I was going to be taking a bigger pay cut. But at this point, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of down for something that I'd be more interested in, even if it pays me less.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, 100%, right?
Yeah.
100%. And I turned that one down. But I was like, you know what? Maybe that happened for a reason. Maybe.
Like I said,
Maybe.
that's a good mindset. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back. Picnicked by Annaleigh. A good friend of the show, Annaleigh, has a picnicking business. Andie, you and I were just talking about, you were at Kate Sessions Park.
Right.
What did you see out there?
Just a bunch of picnics getting set up. Everybody gathered around, just taking some good pictures. And it doesn't even have to be like a special occasion. You know, people were just with their friends. I saw some date nights. So very trendy.
So they just had like a little plaid sheet with a basket, or what?
No, full-blown picnic, okay?
Full-blown picnic.
Full-blown picnic.
That's what the doctors called it. Oops. Shouldn't have said that during an ad read. So if you go to @Picnicked, that's PICNICKED _ and mention ThisLife, you get 10% off of your booking. So I'm going to show you these pictures. You've seen it before, but you've never seen these picnics.
Never seen done like this.
If you're trying to spice up that gram, Annaleigh has packages where you can have a little photo shoot, little mini photo shoot session. Let's say you just got proposed to, or you're going to get proposed to, or you want to propose to your girl during one of these picnics, which is an amazing idea. She will have a photographer there, just shooting some flicks, man. This is it's a great way to get out. I know right now during quarantine, it's kind of hard to go on a date night when you have to sit outside and sit in some dingy table in Little Italy. Have you been to Little Italy?
I have.
Dude.
I know.
It's a mess.
It's a mess. So many people around such a small area.
COVID Central. So if you want to be safe, you want to be in an open area, in a nice, with a beautiful vibe, maybe a charcuterie board. Yeah,
she does those. Nice.
In other words, that means cheese board for you, those of you that don't speak Italian. Or is that French?
Couldn't tell you.
Oh, no one knows.
Don't speak either.
I know. Anyway, Picnicked, PICNICKED _ mention ThisLife, and you get 10% off of your booking. Back to the show.
Okay.
So we're going to keep talking to Andie here about all of these relatable topics, but I have a surprise for you.
Okay.
So you asked, so for all of those who listen and watch, I either buy my guests food and get them drinks, or just food, or just drinks. Andie, what did you request?
I requested no food today. I did request some drinks. I mentioned I never had a hard kombucha. I'm a big fan of Stone Tangerine. And what's in the bag?
So what's in the bag? I'm a big fan of June Shine. Absolutely love June Shine. June Shine, waiting on that sponsorship. And I get it. You know, you're talking to your people and you're like, oh, this might be bad for business because we're going to lose all the June Shines because he promotes us so much and all that stuff. I also love Stone, and I love the Tangerine Express. Mm-hmm. So I got you a present.
Wow. Is this Stone June Shine? Let me see.
Yep.
Let me see.
I'm going to let you open it. Actually,
okay.
This is the dented one. I'll give you this one.
Okay. Let's see.
Try it out.
June Shine. Stone Shine.
Stone Shine. So
what is this? 6% alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
We're getting lit over here.
Don't say that.
A Thursday afternoon.
Oh, your nails.
Oh, yeah.
I'll help you.
Thank you.
So it says here, what's inside? We have stone fruit, citra, Sabra hops, green tea, cane sugar, honey, and June kombucha. Now smell it real quick. Okay. Tell me what it smells like.
I don't think we should do the smell test because I never got my smell back from COVID.
What?
Yes.
But you don't have any more, do you?
I am absolutely negative. I'm back at work. I'm not contagious. I have antibodies.
You never got your smell
My
back?
smell never came back.
You just ruined this whole surprise. but anyway, it smells like beer, but taste it. Let me know what you think. What do you think? Shoot, I just spilled it.
Oh, that's really good.
That's bomb.
Wow.
Huh? Yeah. June Shine and Stone Brewery are killing it. Again, June Shine, you know, I'm doing all these free ads and I love to do it, but, you know, throw me a bone. I love you guys. Anyway.
The Citra hops.
Bomb, huh?
Really good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
You done with that one?
You can take this one. I'm going to finish this one.
No, after you told me freaking COVID.
I'm not contagious. It's gone. I'm back at work.
Have you been to the doctors?
Yes, I had to get cleared to go back to work.
But what did you do about your scent?
Oh, regarding that. Yeah, no, I haven't gone back because when I went to get cleared, I was told, hey, just wait it out. I've been waiting like 2 or 3 months.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's gone. And I had a feeling because the day I knew I was sick, my nose burned so bad and I just kept sneezing. And I was like, you know what? Like, this burns a little more than it should. And when it hasn't come back yet, so pretty sure that was like my neurons just leaving my nose.
Oh my. Well, you also do blow a lot. But let's go back to...
On days that end with Y.
Only 2 occasions.
Yeah.
When it's my birthday and when it's not my birthday. We're kidding. For any current employer that's like, she doesn't do lines. Drug tester.
For legal reasons. It's a joke.
For legal reasons, ThisLife doesn't...
I am on LinkedIn.
Yes. Let's, connect. Let's grow this network.
Oh, you have one?
Yeah, but I don't use it.
Okay, well.
People have been telling me, like, hey, you should get it. I'm like...
Yeah, a lot of people are on there. I didn't know that until I got one. I was like, wow, this is very resourceful.
Yeah, I don't care for the corporate world.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well, hire me.
Anyway. So, wow.
No smell since COVID.
That's...
I know.
What was COVID like? Before we get back to... I want to talk about interviews again, but what was COVID like?
COVID was rough for about like 3 days. Then after that, you're just really tired all the time, still contagious, so you can't do anything.
Yeah.
And nobody wants to see you anyways, and you shouldn't be seeing anybody.
Right. I heard you went to 3 parties while you had it. Is that true?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
For that rumor, I would like to dead it. Yes. That will just end here.
Weren't you kissing people?
Yeah, so I spread it to everybody here in Escondido.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, that rumor was
there
true.
we go. Yes, confirm that one, dead the other one.
For legal reasons, we're just joking.
Once again.
Anyway, so 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days were pretty bad. I did have the whole breathing problems. So that's real. Absolutely. COVID is real. Okay. Wear your mask because you might lose your smell forever.
How do you taste?
I can taste it. You know what? My taste is back, but not at 100%, which is really frustrating.
June Shine, I'm sorry she lied.
No, I can actually down them and it'll be amazing for me because I don't.
Is that like carbonated water?
It's like water. No, I can taste, just not 100%. While you have COVID, if you do lose your sense of taste, it's just really a bad time because you just don't feel well. And then when you're eating, you just can't even taste it.
You don't have an appetite.
Yeah, it's just a bad time all around. However, the people that I live with, my parents, didn't get sick. So I don't know how contagious it is. Because now, they're saying it's not airborne.
They're saying that?
The CDC, yes.
Hey, at CDC, what are you guys doing, dude?
Can you pick a side, please?
I feel like they have a dartboard, like a really big dartboard, and they're like, it has symptoms on it, and they're like, let's do diarrhea. Because first it was
is that why toilet paper was out?
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, what a crazy time. Yeah, my mom thought she had it. She ended up just being very, very dehydrated. Okay. But she had was vomiting, she had flu symptoms.
Right.
And I was like, well, it can't be COVID because that's not a symptom. And I went online, Google, the enemy of the people, just like the failing New York Times.
and everything is a symptom. Everything.
Yep. Sight.
So it's pick some, please.
Yeah. They're literally just, the CDC is one dude with a white lab coat just throwing darts at a wall with symptoms on it.
But I mean, at the same time, this is new.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just trying to figure it out too.
Anyway, that's a whole another conversation. Let's go back to interviews. What are interviews like for you? Do you get very nervous?
No, actually. I feel like I interview really well. I think I've developed more skills now, especially since at my job, you kind of do a lot of marketing, or even talking to customers or even other people in the company that are a little more high up than you. So you kind of have to have your professional side a little bit more put together.
Yeah.
So I feel like I can make it through an interview fairly well, I do get nervous going into it, but during the interview, I feel like I can have myself a little bit more put together than before.
Have you ever lost someone mid-interview?
No, never. No, never. You know what? That's never happened to me. never say never, right?
Shoot, knock on wood.
I know.
I had that happen to me one time.
Really?
Because they already had someone. I don't know if you know this, but with city jobs, they usually already know who they're going to hire.
Yes, I'm very aware.
Yeah.
And same thing at my job.
Yeah, there you
for
go.
a promotion.
Yeah. Why am I even I almost wanted to be like, why am I interviewing?
It's to cover their end. It's a courtesy thing too. It's like, just don't waste my time.
So dumb. So I'm sitting there, and there's this gentleman just like, there was a lady, a guy, and then another gentleman. And the lady was a little more interactive. The guy in the middle was interactive as well. Was like smiling a little bit, and he was like, "Oh, wow, yeah," and like talking to me as well. And I was like, "Oh, cool." But this guy at the end, like hunched over, just like had his paper and be like, "All right, Felix." Yeah, and he'd be like, "All right, Felix. Talk to me about a time," and I'd just be like, dude, I'm gonna head out.
You know what? But at that point, you gotta have more respect for him than the other ones, because they're being fake to your face. Okay, they're wasting your time and acting like they're not. Okay, at least he's very upfront, saying, "I don't know why you're here. I don't even want to be here because we all know we're not gonna hire you." So,
he was a big dude too. He was just like hunched over, like, "All right, Felix." I was like,
yeah, you gotta have more respect for him. Yeah, and the other two people, not so much. Like, come on, you could have told me you already had somebody.
Yeah, because they weren't even looking at him. They were just staring at me, like smiling, it would be like the light and the dark, and I was just like, and that's what threw me off. I was like, okay, 2 versus 1, so it's all good,
right?
But then I figured out who they hired.
They probably argued before you got in the room, like, "I don't want to be here. Why we're interviewing this guy?" And then those 2 people were like, "You know what? We have to do it. Be fair." Yeah. You know.
Anyway, shout out to city governments. What do you think you're gonna do instead of teaching? If you had to do something.
If I had to do something.
Rather than teach. You want to teach? Or, because I remember last time you told me you want to be a principal.
Yeah, I did. I would still want to do that. But the thing is, right now, it's like, okay, if I want to get, this is what I've been told. I don't know. No shade to anybody.
Yeah.
Because eventually I want to do this too. But I was told by multiple teachers, "Hey, go make some money and then come back later to teach." So with that being said,
that's what I've heard too.
I know, right?
Make some money.
I know, go make some money and then come teach. So I was like, I don't really know how to take that, right? But if I wasn't going to teach, right, that's like out the picture completely. This is the worst part too. I would want to get into the law field, and the job I turned down was to work at a law firm. So there's that.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
How did that feel after?
Disappointing.
Were you sad?
Devastated. Honestly, I really was.
Are you still?
Because no, I got over it because I've just been applying to other jobs and here and there. So I know I messed that one up, but there's probably another one coming, hopefully, right?
True.
That's the only way you can look at it without breaking your own heart, you know?
Yeah, that I'm sure. You know what? I'm sure that law firm is one of those where it's just like it's a bunch of like sexual harassers.
Oh,
and like
absolutely
just
right.
Pinching butts and stuff. That's what you got to tell yourself.
For legal reasons, that is a joke as
for
well.
For legal reasons, that's actually a joke. I've never worked in a place like that. Actually, here. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, I get it because I work for myself. So.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway.
Yeah, I set myself up there by saying no, but I was just hoping to get something else. But at that point, I should have just taken it and just said thank you. Thank you to the universe for setting this in my lap. Whatever, there's more to come.
But do you actually want to do that? Like, have you sat down and just been like, this is what I want to do?
Yes.
Really?
I do.
Why?
I feel like I'd be good at it.
Why?
I feel like I can be in a very professional setting, keep myself together, and I'm really into kind of organizing things, setting everything up. You know, okay, so I don't know what aspect you're thinking about. I was like, okay, I'm going to work in this office, and then I'm going to eventually, like, you know, get some certificates here, and then go to law school, get some experience, go to law school. I feel like that's what I want to do, and I've wanted to do that for a while. But like I said at the beginning of the podcast, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I can ease my way in this way.
But if you think about it, like, excuse me, if you actually become a lawyer, if you stick with it, then won't that job pay off?
Absolutely. And I feel like, well, the only way I can go into it is not hating it, right? Like in my head, I'm like, I wouldn't hate it.
So you want to dabble a little bit in it.
I do.
That's smart.
Yeah.
See, I didn't want to be the teacher that went from school to more school to more school and then school.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
I didn't want to be that teacher because we've met those teachers where we're like, everyone's just kind of like, why is he such a dick? Like, why does he hate his life?
Yeah.
I feel like it's because of that. And then they're like, well, I did all that work. Why would I go back and do something else? Exactly. I remember I had a teacher in middle school, Miss Simonson. She was like 60 something.
Wow.
Retired from being a teacher. And then my friend, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but my friend saw her she was working at Burger King. And not the teacher, my friend.
Okay. To make that clear, it was a friend working at Burger King.
She's like, well, I made it. My friend
no
was working
shade to people working at Burger King.
I know, for legal reasons, no shade. She saw her at the drive-thru and she looks at her and goes, are you Miss Simonson? She's like, yeah. She's like, you look familiar and all this stuff. Definitely lying. And she, when teachers are like, hey, yeah.
Not even teachers. You do that too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, I got a text the other day. Whoever texted me the other day, I love you because you said, looking forward to listening to other podcasts.
Oh, so
they were saying some amazing stuff. I didn't have the number. And it was the only text that I got. It sounded like a gentleman because you kept calling me bro. And I appreciate that. Text me again, please. Let me know who you are because... And the reason I did this, and this is completely going off my brain ADHD, going off of this whole thing, I wouldn't want to be like, who is this?
Right.
Like, that's such a blow to like, I'd rather just be like, you know what? There's someone out there that is gassing me up and they love my work. Thank you so much.
You just don't have their number saved. That's it.
Exactly. I don't have the number. So text me again, friend. But anyway, she was sitting in her car, this teacher, and my friend goes, you retired, right? And she's like, yeah, but I went back to med school and now I'm a doctor. I'm a pediatrician.
Wow.
And every single month, probably, I think about that where I'm just like, man, we think about life being so short, but it's really so long. Like if we make the right moves that we ourselves want to make and make us happy, then I think it pays off. It doesn't matter if you're like 60 and you're like, I'm going to become a marketing person.
Right, right. It's never too late attitude too. Like if you want to change something, you can change it.
I've always said that. So I actually coined that phrase.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. Is that in your bio for Mayorca Media?
Yeah. And never say never. So actually, Justin Bieber.
Do I owe you anything like money?
We'll talk later. Royalties. Okay.
I know.
But I think it's great that you have that mindset of this isn't really working out right now and I need to change it. Do you ever get into the mindset of like, everything sucks and I don't want to do anything?
All the time. And it's no, but on a serious note, all the time. It's really hard not to, have that be your first thought, because it's every day you're doing the same thing and you're like, okay, I want to change this. I want to change this. And yeah, you do have to take the first step yourself to change it. But when nothing is changing, it's really frustrating. And that is the first thought all the time. So it's like, oh, wow, this really sucks. So you kind of have to pick yourself up and be like, okay, this is going to get better. I'm only 23. I'm a year out of college. Like, everybody says it gets better, So at some point, you just got to be like, you know what? It will. Like, whatever. It will.
Yeah.
So I had a talk with my somebody at work. And they were like, you know what? You're only 23. You got to shovel some shit for a little bit before things get better. And I was like, okay, fair enough. That's true. But you're also here. So, like, is it going to get better? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's like, but at the same time.
Maybe they love their job.
That's what I was going to say. Just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's not for somebody else.
Yeah, you're a classist. That's pretty cool. You hate the lower class. You've always told me that.
Let's be on the same page here and be very clear saying my current job, not anything else. Okay? Please retract that statement.
I love how they're like, you know what, Andy, you're going to make it. You're going to, and you're like, you work at fucking Enterprise.
We cannot name drop. I work at a car rental company.
You started by saying Enterprise. And I was like, rent a car.
A rental car company.
Oh my God. Do you ever get depressed?
Yeah.
So let me ask this. I've actually had a conversation with someone else about this, that there are different types of depression. Mm-hmm. You can be depressed, or you can have depression.
Oh, I already understand the difference.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people, and again, I don't want to downplay anything. And I almost didn't say this because it's one of those subjects that you don't really want to touch on, but fuck it. I have depression. I can be living my greatest life. I could be having all the clients. I could be making millions of dollars and still feel sad.
Right.
I have to take medication for it.
Right.
Since I was in high school, I had depression. Dude, I come from privilege. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, my life was tough. Like,
right.
A little hard.
Yeah.
But overall, like, I was fine. I wore Nike socks.
Yeah.
That's the...
I was on the football team.
I was on the football team. I wore Nike socks. I had nice cleats. Like, I have depression. I live with depression. Now, if someone in your family dies and you get depressed, that can happen. You could be depressed for a month, 2 months, maybe just a week.
Right.
Have you ever dealt with any sort of depression, or do you have it? Or?
Yeah, I have, and I think it was a mix of a lot of my...
I could be wrong. Again,
like,
I'm not a doctor.
yeah, everything with a grain of salt, right?
Yeah, exactly. Don't listen to what I'm an idiot.
I think it was a mix of a lot of like issues that stemmed from my family, and then a mix, so that, and then stack that on with my everyday life that I already am not very happy with, was not a good combination, So yes, I think I was I am somebody that lives with depression, not depressed. Is that what we were going with, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, I did hit like a really bad low that I didn't really tell people about, like, for some reason I felt like it was easier to open up to people that I wasn't as close with, you know? I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. And
you feel like they don't judge you.
Right. Is that what that is? Okay. So I did hit a really bad low. Not a lot of people knew about it, I was reaching out to my doctor and everything. I was about to be on medication. I was kind of hesitant, so I just opted not to. And I've just been like working my way around it since,
Do you ignore it, or do you just kind of like do you fill your day with things so you don't feel it?
I think so. I think I'm more of a let's stay busy, not deal with it type of person. I know.
You know who was like that?
Who? Oh,
yeah, boy.
No.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh,
no.
There's two of us drinking together. This is just going to be a sad podcast.
No.
Were you on, so what meds are you on Lexapro?
Before you say that, I only drink when I'm happy.
Okay.
I never touch alcohol. I have, addiction in my family. I have alcohol addiction in my family, which is a thing. I have alcoholics in my family. I try not to. This thing, I'm having a celebration here with my friend Annie. My friend came through and was like, "Oh yeah, let's do a podcast." And I know people are like, "Well, you drink every single day." Like, I'm like, no, not really. Like, I'll for the podcast and stuff, but I have shit to do,
Right.
But yeah, I never drink when I'm sad because I've done that before, and it's like,
it's just a bad hole to get into.
It's terrible. What was that? What was your low like?
A lot of isolation, which really sucked. Because then I feel like it just keeps getting worse and worse because you're isolating yourself, and then in your head, you have nobody to talk to, so you're just making it worse.
Yes.
And then in your head, you're kind of turning people like, oh, like I can't even go to this person, and like I don't want to bother them, so you're trying to deal with it yourself, and it's not working. It's not doing anything for you.
I mean, you're a great subject about what I talk about all the time. Like, did you have people reach out to you?
Kind of. I mean, like few, like, hey, how are you? Like, what's going on? And then me just kind of brushing it off. Oh, I'm good.
But very surface level.
Very surface level.
Do you think you have a connection with someone? Maybe like a friend that you can go to?
I know I can, but I think I'm the type of person where I'm like, I don't want to put that on them.
Yeah.
And why me opening up to you, what is that going to do? I feel like I'm very kind of standoffish in that way.
Toxic. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I just, maybe you don't want to
kidding.
overshare. I feel like that person might take it how you would want them to,
So let me tell you this.
Okay, go ahead.
Because I have a group of friends where if we're feeling like shit, we'll hang out together and I'll be like, I feel like shit today. I don't want to hang out. And they'll be like, well, okay, do you want to, like, it was always like, do you want to go to PB? And I'd be like, my social media is just,
not there.
I don't feel good today.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, okay, well, let's, get ice cream or something. And I'd be like,
Okay.
I can eat some Thrifties. I love Thrifties. Rite Aid. And we'd sit there and just let each other like talk and be like, I'm really worried about this, and this. And I have friends who are like, do you want me to listen? Do you want me to give my input? Like, what do you need from me? Do you have those types of friends where you...
I have 2 really good friends, 3 that I could do that with. But like I said earlier, I'm not there. It's a long distance friendship. Yeah. I feel like it's not the same when I text you this and this. Or like you know what I mean? So I know I have that in my circle, but it's just very hard to get that because of the distance. And also because of myself, how I'm kind of standoffish. Like, I don't really want to put that on you.
Do you ever ask them how they're doing?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
And they never ask you?
They do. But I'm just not the first to open up.
But how do they ask? What's the language? Because again, common theme is the language. Is it like, how are you?
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. But, same thing with whatever is going on, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, like what happened? And then I'm very surface level there. Oh, same thing with this and this and this. And
do they keep like...
they do, and then I just kind of... They do, and then I kind of just stop. I know.
Have you been to therapy?
No, but I did ask for your therapist. I just never reached out, and I should. I know I have to.
You are the 6th person.
Really?
Who has said that.
Really?
So it's not just you.
Okay.
So therapy is one of those things that you can't really force someone to do. Mm-hmm. So I'll give you Judy's card, but I won't say you have to go and you have to call. I'll tell you, you know what, if you want to call, yeah, that's great. This is what she offers. She's a little older, so she she does Zoom. Okay. Which is, some people are thrown off by it. Other people are cool with it. Mm-hmm. One time she told me that there was a guy who would talk in his car. Oh. And I was like, wow. And if you're worried about like having a Zoom thing or a FaceTime with a therapist, it's like, if you really want to, you'll do it. If you're not ready, then you probably won't do it, because maybe you're afraid of something, or maybe you just don't want to make time for it. Because I was in the same spot. I was like, well, my life isn't going how I want to. I'm sad all the time. I'm sad all the time, even when I'm happy. Mm-hmm. I'm like, and then like crying.
It's very short lived.
Yeah, I'm like crying at the club. Yeah, other people have come up to me and been like, does therapy work? Mm-hmm. It worked for me. And again, same with antidepressants. It worked for me. I know people that took it and got way worse.
Right, like zombies, right? That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Or yourself just doesn't even...
Yeah, well, like Kanye West always says that... what's he on? I think he's on Lexapro too, which is a really high dose, because homeboy's got issues. He talks about how it numbs his creativity. And at first that I felt that too, but the thing is, and did your doctors just say straight, okay, we'll prescribe you with that?
Yes.
Forget that. So I'm glad you said this, because if they're doctors or whatever, and I'm not a doctor, I can't really, but I've been through the same thing. Mm-hmm. I went to therapy first, and then I went to my doctor. Mm-hmm. My therapist said, hey, you're depressed. We did a depression inventory. I got a 53% on it. Oh. She was like, yeah, you're very depressed. She doesn't talk like that, but she was like, go to your doctor and see what your options are. Mm-hmm. So I went to my doctor, and she was like, okay, we're going to start you at a low dose of the lowest, like just to, she asked me, she did some blood work. She asked me about, my everyday life and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. If your doctor doesn't ask about that, get a different doctor. Mm-hmm. If they're just like, well, this is the answer here, boom, bye, get a different doctor. I don't believe in just taking pills for everything. Right, me either. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are like kind of wary.
Need a fix and just take whatever the doctor said this, I'm going to take this.
I have a friend that works in like a mental health place, like a facility, and they give samples of this crap.
Really?
So this whole like big pharma thing, dude, Lexapro, my therapist told me that Lexapro doesn't kick in until like 2 to 3 weeks, maybe really? 3 to 4 weeks. So it brings down your anxiety, because it hits the anxiety first. Both. Yeah, it's because I was very anxious all the time. Right. My heart was beating like crazy. Brings that down, but then once the anxiety comes down, when you're like, I have to fill my day with everything. Right. That's your anxiety kicking in. Mm-hmm. So it brings that down. So then you're all the way down here because you're depressed. And now you're actually feeling the depression. So if you give someone like a 5-day supply of that and then they're off of it, obviously they're going to go shoot shit up.
Right.
Like they're going to go like I'm so passionate about this subject because it makes me so mad because I've felt how you feel in the beginning stages and like barely anyone talks about that.
Right.
They just think like, take it, you're a zombie, you're done.
That's it.
Or you feel better. Like it's not like that.
It's one or the other.
Exactly.
It's not.
So I mean, my advice to you would be try therapy out. I think everyone should do therapy, even if you're not depressed.
That's what everybody says. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just
because you have a shitty day, you're like, oh, like I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
And they kind of are like, well, something I love about my therapist, and I actually talked to her about being on here. I think she might be on here. She listens to my problems and then asks me, do you want me to give you advice on this? And I go, sure. And she's like, well, it sounds like you are going through this. So pretty much she repeats what I said.
Right.
And then goes, and this is how you're feeling. And I think you're feeling this way because da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, I never thought of that. And like when my grandmother died, I didn't even feel anything. And then I felt guilty about that. I was like, wow, this is...
what is going on? Yeah.
Exactly. And she started talking about grief and PTSD and like all this other stuff. And I was like, man, this is... I'm telling you, man, Judy saved my life. But
so
yeah.
do you think... Okay, because I already have my own opinion formed about this, but maybe I shouldn't. Does...
Say it.
Because I don't think therapy will fix me.
Nope.
It'll help.
Yep.
Okay.
Your therapy, your mindset, dude, freaking Andie, man. Your mindset is exactly where everyone else's mindset should be that goes to therapy.
Okay.
It's not going to be a fix.
Okay.
But it will help you either change that mindset or because, so when I showed up, and again, I think I've talked about this, but when I showed up to therapy, I was like, I went to therapy before, didn't help because I showed up with this is going to help me, I'm going to feel better. Didn't. It felt good to talk about my problems.
Right.
But that was it. So the next time I showed up, I was like, hi, I'm Felix. Nice to meet you. This is what's going on. Now, I understand that you're not going to fix my problems, but I'm here to work with you in order to get better. And she was just like, you're my superstar. And
wow.
she has a little accent. She's so cute. I love her. Judy, I love you. So yes, you're 100% on the right track.
So so if it's, I mean, that's how I feel about it. I feel like, you know what, maybe this will help me work things out with myself or whatever, like just get things out that should have been out a long time ago. And now, I'm getting like advice on things, whatever. So if it's just there to help you, do you think a lot of people think it fails for them because they go with that mentality, or they just seem like, what is the point of even going if you already know it's not going to solve your problems? If it just helped, do you think talking to someone else is that important, or is it like their experience that's just like...
I think some people go in with a closed mindset.
Okay.
I had a friend who unfortunately was in the Vegas shooting.
Oh, wow.
And she was like, what's that going to do?
Right.
And I was like, look, I can't put myself in your position, but you can at least, you're pretty much grabbing your brain and your thoughts, you're putting it out on the table, looking at it and going, oh, and like making these little connections, because sometimes we're so emotion driven that we make those decisions and we think that way because of what we're feeling. Sometimes you need an outside perspective, a professional perspective of someone just being like, oh yeah, I've heard this before, this is what it is. And you're like, oh, what?
Okay.
Okay. If you go into therapy with that in mind and saying, well, it's not going to help, of course not.
Right.
You have to have that growth mindset. Episode 1, ThisLife, talked about growth mindset. You have to have that. I'm not okay yet. So what am I going to do to be okay? I'm going to go to therapy.
Okay.
Therapy's not helping yet. And you know what? You might not be a fit with Judy. She might not.
That's what I've heard, that, it might take a couple of tries with different therapists to get one that you click with.
Exactly. So if you're there, I would say like try for a month. Maybe if it depends how often you go. I used to go twice a week, and then I used to go once a week, then once a month.
So when do you start really getting into the groove of things with your therapist? Could it be like off the bat? Or do you think you should give it a full month, like you said, or do you build a relationship as you go, or what? How does that work?
That's the hard part because everyone's different.
Okay.
I'm a complete open book and I put everything on the internet. But I showed up with that mindset and I was like, I'm going to tell you what's wrong.
Okay.
I want to help fix it. Help me. Other people are like, I don't really trust you yet.
Okay.
And like my friend who was in the shooting, she was like 2 months in, she's like, yeah, this is stupid. I told her on my first day, I told her what happened. She was crying. She's like, why would I even? I was like, you've been through something that nobody's been through.
Right.
But then you look down like a year later, she was doing amazing. And she was like, I love my therapist. She has a little dog there. And
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it pretty much has to do with how you open up to people and how long it takes you to actually form that relationship, if you form that relationship. So I don't think you should go in with like pretty much any expectations. Just wait to see what you feel and how it's going.
Okay. Good tips. Good to know. The first time things got really, really bad. So I was probably like I forgot what year it was. So I know it was like in December. And then I finally was like, you know what? Like I need to get some help. So I was like, I'm going to do that now. I believe it was like May-ish. I forgot what year it was. My senior year of college. That's when that was. I didn't have anywhere else to go. So I was like, I'm going to go to the school counselor, like the therapist that they have there. Okay, well, I decided to go around finals, and she was booked, like, solid.
Yeah,
booked
that's
solid.
when everyone's just having a breakdown.
So that was so discouraging because I was like, you know what? Maybe some of these people want to complain about their finals, Like, I have some stuff I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And then I just never reached out again. Somebody else gave me their therapist card, but it didn't work with, like, my work schedule. But you know what? I feel like I could have made it work if I really wanted to. I should make the time for it.
I think you have to kind of set... For me, it was a pride thing. I was like... I remember I was sitting at my desk. I had no potential work. It was a really bad week, I remember. Like a really... those really bad weeks?
Really bad weeks.
You don't want to get up.
And nothing is going right for you those weeks. Nothing.
And it might be just mental, but
yeah, you're
dropping the coffee and
the keys when you're about to get home, and that's the last straw. That's the last
your
straw.
lanyard. I was talking to my friend Morgan about this. Your lanyard or your headphones get caught, and you're like,
that's it. That's it.
You bite your cheek.
That's really it. Like that's the last straw. Like just give up then and there.
But that's crazy because those are little things around a bigger problem.
Oh yeah.
And then you're just fixated on those little things, but it was one of those days, and I remember I was on the phone with her, just like almost crying, just like I don't know what's happening. Like,
yep.
And it took me. My friend actually went to go see her therapist and said, my buddy's going through some stuff. Do you have any resources? Psychologytoday.com is really good. Okay. You can check your area code. You get people's pictures of like of different psychologists and therapists, and it also shows their bio and what their specialty is. But then I reached out to this lady and she was like, I'm sorry, I'm fully booked. And she was like, but I'm sharing an office with someone. Luckily that was Judy. And wow. And the thing is that the people on there, they want to help,
right? And
they also have, I've never tried it, but it's called crap, I'm blanking on it, where it's on your phone. All the podcasts have that ad for it. It's called
yes.
BetterHelp.
Oh my gosh,
BetterHelp.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
okay.
BetterHelp. So it's called BetterHelp. I've never used it, but I mean, if you can just text someone and be like, yo, I ain't doing fine, and they're like, what's going on? Yeah, there's different stuff if you're kind of at that bottom, but I think it's all mindset, and it's very hard to admit this might be a bigger problem than just me being bummed.
Right.
Because I would do the same thing. My anxiety, the way she described it was that my anxiety kicked in, and that's when I would be busy. Okay. For example, my first wedding I shot, I was anxious the whole time, and I was just going because that's how weddings are. And I was like, oh well, this is the job. I cried all the way home. because I was sad and depressed and just like I was just like
that's how it came out. That's just how it came out. There's no like that's just what it is. It comes out that way, and that's what that is.
Because you got the high highs and you have the high or the low lows, and it's like life isn't really like that.
And then tears come down.
Yeah. What so what did you do instead of like go to therapy and all that during that?
Nothing. I mean, I tried to get in. So that was the first time I tried to do therapy, right? They were booked up. So I was like, that's that. Like, that was me reaching out, being like, you know what, I'm going to do something for myself. Didn't work out. Didn't get an appointment in. And then I said, okay, well, so be it.
Yeah.
You know what? And then I haven't done that since. Have you done, like, family therapy? Or is it just yourself? Are you the only one?
It's just me.
Oh, okay.
But Judy has offered to bring some people, like whenever I'm like, I have like things going on with this person.
Right.
They're like, she's like, well, you know, would you like to bring him in? I'm like, no. I feel like it would be very beneficial.
Right.
I feel like it would definitely help, and it would be such a vulnerable state though. And I think we're all afraid of that vulnerability. Yeah. Because it's scary. Just like, for example, like telling your mom like, hey, I resent you because blah, blah, blah. Right. Not that, Mom, not you, I love you. But just sitting there and telling your mom like, or even when I told my mom, I'm going to therapy.
It's a shock to them, and it's kind of almost unacceptable. Or it's just it's news to them. Yeah. And it's like, what is going on?
Especially because we're Hispanic.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
But see, with my mom, it wasn't unacceptable. It was, she took it on herself and was like, what am I failing at?
What did I do? Oh, I feel like
that's how your mom would. I know your mom. She's amazing. Mom. Shout out Lupe.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like, yay! While she's watching. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Sweet. And you know what? I actually broke it down to her for the first time. Maybe. So we had to talk about it. It wasn't really like a really deep talk, but I brought it up. Okay. A couple weeks later, we were at Stone. Okay. Couple beers in. Yeah. We were a couple beers in, and she is a lighter weight than I am. Okay. My mom does not drink. Okay. So cute. So we're a couple beers in, and that comes up, and I started going on, like, going in saying, this is what's going on. And, it just made me feel bad because she takes it as, where did I mess up? I did this. I'm responsible for this. But, and it's just like,
I didn't do enough.
Yeah. And it's like, you're not getting it.
Yeah.
So that's even more of, that's more discouraging, So, because I don't want to hurt her along the way, but.
Yeah. I had to have that talk with my parents where I was just kind of like, they saw me break down when, again, I talked about this already, but they saw me break down, and they were just like, I remember my dad was a Marine. He's very just like centered. And I remember seeing him just like, oh my God. What is... Yeah,
priceless.
Priceless. Exactly. Like, he didn't know what to think or feel. And he started telling me like, I was in the reserves, and I couldn't find a job after the military, and just telling me all that stuff. And I was like, wow, I had no idea. You're a human. Yeah, you're not just dad. You're a human. That's crazy.
You have feelings.
Exactly. But it's hard for families to kind of have that dialogue. Do you think you got closer to your mom after you graduated? Or have you guys always been close?
No, we've always been close, but I feel like ever since we brought that up, or just like discussed some problems, it's kind of put a small wedge between us, because no matter how like close we are, there's always something that's off, because she knows I am like going through some things, you know what I mean? And I was like, wow, maybe I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
And then because because I don't want her to feel bad about things, but there's no other, she just takes it as, oh, I am responsible for this, or maybe I messed up. And it's like, no, like, I really appreciate everything. It's just how I feel. And that's okay that I feel like this, but she doesn't understand that.
So I know she's watching this.
I know. I know.
So Lupe, I'm going to tell you something right now. And I'm going to tell you, this is a message for moms, for dads, for maybe spouses, for Hispanic boyfriends, for moms. Girlfriends. Yeah. Hispanic moms, especially. Who you're seeing someone go through something, the best thing you can do is just let them know that you're there. Yeah. Without being without being too overbearing, because overbearing can lead to negativity. Negativity can lead to just like an outbreak of like, dude, leave me alone.
Right.
I'm
there.
What can I do to help you? Do you need lunch? Can I hear the, you're like spoon feeding? You're like,
right.
Oh my God, I'm already in my own head. I don't need someone else coming at me. I know it seems a little negative. Sometimes you just got to take a step back. You got to let them know, hey, you know what? I'm here. Because when we're ready, and I say we, like the damaged people. Yeah.
Us.
Exactly. Us, the damaged club. We're going to come out and say, today I'm not feeling it. And I just don't want to talk.
I mean, I think that they should know it's okay for us to feel like this.
Yeah.
My feelings are valid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with you.
You did nothing
whoever's
wrong.
on anybody else.
We're adults.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but we're adults.
Adults, okay.
And I think that's also hard because you're the baby, right?
Yes.
You're the baby of the family.
Baby.
I'm the baby as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard for our parents to see us. My mom and I kind of had a moment a while back, and she was like, every time I see you, hold on. She's like, every time I see you, my dad said the same thing. I see that little baby that I carried. And she was like, and I saw that little kid that would run through the sprinklers in his underwear.
Oh my God.
And I see that little kid and that's when I was like,
doesn't that make you feel worse?
It makes me understand it.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like that I can see both sides. Because you know what? I want to be selfish so bad and be like, you know what? I feel like this. This is why I feel like this.
Yeah.
I said what I said. But man, I have such a soft spot for like my parents. Where I'm like, you know what? I get why you feel that way.
Yeah.
And then that's when I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's my fault.
It's my fault. And then it's a big cycle.
I'm sorry, I'm depressed. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. And you're like, oh. It was just ugly crying in the kitchen.
Tomorrow, the next day, same thing. It's just like you start from nothing.
Yeah. I think my biggest advice for people that know that someone's going through something, just kind of don't bring it up. You know.
Yeah.
Try to get their attention elsewhere. Try to, hey, you want to go to blah, blah, blah? And they'll be like, oh, sure. Or just kind of sit in their room and be like, what's up? You know, or
how's everything?
How is everything?
Yeah.
That's
How
my
are you?
favorite.
Just been working.
With your mom, just work, doing like a little
Rubik's Cube.
Dude, my brother, shout out to my brother Carlos. He used to always walk in, like, and he still kind of does this sometimes. Like, he just walks in, like, with his hands in his pocket. And he's like,
hey.
What's up? Like, what's up, man? And then I'll be like, grabbing a pen, just like, I'm like, bro, do you need something? Like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, you're just hanging out. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Just don't touch anything.
I feel like that's how siblings check in on each other. Like, hey, what's up? Okay, just here to like check in.
Yeah, exactly. So, moms, don't take it personally. It's nothing that you did. We are alive right now.
Because of you, too.
Because of you. Exactly. But I think they're always worried about the worst. Like, what if you kill yourself? And I'm like, why didn't I? You know, and I'm...
what a mess. Hispanic moms.
Hispanic moms. Ay, Dios mío.
I know. God.
But, yeah. What do you think is... I mean, do you think this podcast... I've had 3 people now say... And you might not realize this right now, but afterwards they're like, wow, I actually... I needed that. Like, it kind of brought some stuff up. Like, do you think this experience has helped you understand some things, or?
I think it's made me realize this is normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like, this is okay. Like, people understand. I think maybe people don't talk about it, but me being here is like, okay, you know what? Maybe other people think this is normal, or you think this is normal at least. So I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one. You know?
Yeah, unfortunately. And with your generation, I'm going to say quote unquote generation of college graduates, you graduated at the shittiest time. And the people that graduated in 2020,
even shittier time.
Even shittier. Not. I want to give, actually, I did a little check-in with my friend Nat, my friend Annaleigh. You know her, Annaleigh Jania.
Yeah.
She had a rough year. That's all I'm going to say. She was looking for a job. She was in that same position we all were in.
Yeah.
She was working at Cheesecake Factory, which, again, another quote-unquote dead-end job. But she Snapchatted us. I remember we had this little group chat. That's my friend group that we all check in on. Zeke, Lorena, Nat, Orlando sometimes. Love you guys. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, Nat was like, guys, I'm finally gonna leave cheesecake, and we're all like, yeah, hell yeah. I texted her today. I was like, yo, when? And I was just driving, and I was like, I was literally thinking, what are my friends up to? I haven't seen them in a while. And then I was like, oh, Nat. So I texted her. I was like, what's up? I said like, yo, homie, some dumb crap. I was like, yo, when does your new gig start? And she was like, oh my God, how are you? Like, thanks so much for asking. Yeah. And those little things kind of make like a world of difference.
Oh, absolutely.
And, like, it's she just, even through text, I was like, man, Nat has had, in this little time span, she's had so many positive interactions. She's had so many, I guess, like kind of like wake up calls of just like, wow, this is where I'm supposed to be right now.
Right.
It's like that 9/11 post where people are like, one guy missed the train.
Yeah, you are exactly where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hate that shit. Like, I hate quotes and stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. But see, even hearing that about her is like, okay, so my turn is coming. Just when? That's hard. Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's hard to hear.
So it's like, yeah, I keep hearing people are like getting their stuff together. Things are aligning for them. And like, that's so great, you know? Like, that's so awesome because you said she was going through something super similar. So I can like empathize with her, sympathize with her.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So like, I know like things are going to get better.
Yep.
But when?
Exactly. But you know what's crazy is I was in that just negative space for a long time. And my friend Lorena, actually, who's in that friend group, she got a job. She got a full-time job before she graduated college.
Oh, wow.
I was already a year out of college looking for a job constantly. And they all knew that. And she goes, so I want to tell you something. And I'm like, what's up? And she's like, I have a guaranteed job. And I was like, oh,
you're like, oh,
okay,
yeah,
like,
okay.
You haven't graduated, have you? And she's like, no. I was like, oh, great.
Must be nice. What's it like living my dream?
Yeah. And honestly, I had that little bit of resentment, but then I'm like, man, that's so cool. And I looked at her, I was like, Lord, congratulations. Like, that's so dope.
You know what I love is when people who deserve it, like, get things right. I'm like, wow, like, good for you. Like, you really deserve it. It's like, you worked for it. Like, that's just great. Like, you were set up for that. You set yourself up for that.
Exactly. I think you have to have that mindset. Like, I told Natalie today, I was like, dude, I was like, congratulations. Like, I love seeing that things are going your way right now. And she was like, oh, that means so much to me. And I was like, dude, if my friends are winning, like,
oh, I love to see it. I love to see it.
That's,
I do.
And then in my field as well, like, I've met some photographers that think, and these are the older guys, like, if these young guys are coming in, those are jobs that they aren't getting.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, nah, man, if you're winning, I'm winning. Like,
right.
There's this one guy, Mike, that I give him all the jobs that I can't do because I might be busy or something. And he's just like, man, thank you so much. And I'm like, dude, if you're winning, I'm winning. Like, right. It might come back to me. And if it doesn't, then, you know, fuck you. But yeah, he's a dope guy.
No, I love to see it. Like, if my friends get something or whatever that they've been working for, or something comes their way that like wasn't like expected, I'm like, wow, like, you know what, like that's all yours. Like, you deserve that. Like, you worked for it. I could never like be jealous. I'm more like, oh, I'd rather ask like, oh, how'd you get that? Yeah. You know, you're like, how'd you do that?
Have you ever watched Entourage?
No. I saw the movie. They came out with the movie, remember?
Yeah. You saw the movie?
Yeah.
Oh. So Johnny Drama's always like, whenever Vince gets a job, he's like, any roles for me, bro?
Yeah, so, is it my turn?
You guys got any roles for me? Like, that was always me.
Yeah, no, me too, because I'm not the one to get it, but I'll be like, hey, so, is there room for two?
Congrats, man. So, are they hiring, like, a ton of people? Or?
What's their, like, hire cycle like? You know, what, can I put you down for a referral? You'll probably get, like, a kickback of a percentage. Exactly.
So what's next for Andie Sanchez in 2020?
I don't know. Might go, well, that's kind of a trend with me. I don't know. I do have some goals set aside for myself. One of them was like a financial goal, which I'm on track for, which is really nice.
Nice. $1 million a year.
$1 million cash.
$1 million.
Yes, cash.
Hell yeah. Sick.
I really just want to, as like negative as this sounds, honestly, you could turn to positive if you think like me. leave my company to do something more that's like aligned with what I want to do.
That's not negative.
You know? Well,
That's
if you're my employer, it's kind of negative.
Anyway.
For legal reasons.
For legal reasons, she's just kidding. No, that's not. And honestly, if an employer gets pissed when you leave, then good.
Yeah.
Because that means that they weren't wishing the best for you. And
yeah, I don't know about that. No, I do just want to make sure that I'm out so that I can, I'm sure like you could tell by the podcast that it's not something that's like so much as a positive for me or for myself. So I want to make sure I'm out of there and working more towards something I want to do, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think one of your goals should be to go to therapy. And
yeah,
test
it really should be.
Just dip your toe. And if anyone else out there is listening and thinking about it, do it. Like you have nothing to lose. You
know what? I've never heard anybody speak negatively about it.
Exactly.
It's always, even if it didn't work, it's like, you know what? Oh, it didn't work, but like I tried it and it did at least something for me, you know? Like maybe it wasn't like a win, but it did something. It made me realize this or this. So I don't want to shut that down. I should put that on my goals list.
There you go. I had 2 therapists. The first one was a gentleman who was a graduate student, and his answers were, oh, yeah, that sucks. Yeah, that sucks.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to talk and let him listen.
Yeah.
But he was more of a listener, which I get now. But I mean, my second one was Judy, and I got super lucky with her.
Right.
Psychologytoday.com. Sponsor me. Yeah. So you really never know. It could not work out, but then it can work out. And life is a trip, man. And I think that's what this podcast is about. Is like, life is a total trip. You could be down one day. The next day you're making like billions of dollars like me, and just
or you could be that teacher that then went to medical school or whatever.
So
exactly.
It's never too
don't
late.
count yourself out. No.
This was a good podcast, man.
That's fun. Wow, we kind of did something here.
Oh man.
Yeah. So if you ever want to have me on again,
Andie, where can people find you?
People can find me on Instagram at Andie Sanchez. I have 2 Z's at the end of my name.
How do you spell Andie?
Andie. And then my last name with 2 Z's at the end. That's about it. I don't have a podcast, but you can definitely find me on Instagram.
And Enterprise Rental Car. We'll pick you up.
I will pick you up.
Do you guys have to say that on the phone?
No, we don't. Luckily, there's like a phone tree you have to work through when you call in. So they say that for me. Thank you very much.
I'm like, Enterprise Rental Car, this is Andie Sanchez. We'll pick you up. How may I help you?
No, it's more of a, thanks for calling Enterprise. This is Andrea. How can I help you?
Oh, dude, I love
I just gave it to you for free.
You're like talking shit behind the counter. You're like,
I'm not bad at my job. Let's be very clear.
Yeah.
Really not. They want to keep me.
Anyway, before you get fired, find me at Mayorca Media, mayorcamedia.com. That's where I post all the podcasts. For those of you asking where the videos are, they're on YouTube or they're on mayorcamedia.com/ThisLife, one word. Thank you all so much for listening. Andie, I appreciate you coming through.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, this was really fun. I don't know if it was the June Shines or whatever, but
probably both. So, this was a free therapy session for myself. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I started this podcast. Let me finish this. Like Jerry Springer, remember where they were the last thought. I started this podcast to start a community. I started this podcast to not to make money from it. I mean, if it happens, that's cool. And I always talk about like June Shine sponsor us because I love local business. I love. I know they're a little bit bigger now, and congrats to them. But if I can help like even like one person, and I've said this even from the start, like if even like 5 people listen to every single episode and are like, I've gotten something from every single episode, that's what I want. If people hit me up and they're like, I just listened to this episode, I love it, that's what I want. ThisLife is a community. It's people that know that they need to work on something. It's people that know or want to listen to other people who want more for themselves. And honestly, Andie, you're someone that wants more for themselves. You have that mindset of you're open-minded. You have the right questions. You have the right doubts because you're talking about, well, you know, therapy, blah, blah, blah. My main thing is reach out to people. If maybe you're not going through something, but you might know someone that's going through something that's not, maybe they're not at the job that they want and they're constantly joking, complaining about it, they might be serious. And that might be just kind of a deflection of, do you want another one?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe off camera.
I was like,
no, she's parched.
They might be going through something. They might be reaching out for help. Talk to each other. Send them this podcast. Spread the word. Obviously, the reviews and the subscriptions and all that help a lot for the future. But at the end of the day, I want this to be a community. And if you ever need anything, please reach out to me. I'm on Instagram at Mayorca Media. Shoot me an email, mayorcamedia.com. You can find my little info page or whatever. But again, Andie, thanks so much for being on. This was another wonderful episode of This Life, a podcast by Mayorca Media. I am your host, Felix Mayorca. I will see you on the next one. Bye.
I know.